This program is designed to inspire you to dream and empower you to fulfill your spiritual and financial destiny. Let's get ready to dream and go live into today's program. Welcome to Dream Again with Dr. Ken, your financial dream coach.
Well, good evening and welcome to Dream Again with Dr. Ken, your host. I am so excited tonight. Listen, I am reaching out to all the dreamers that are out there, whether you're here in the United States or abroad. If you are a dreamer, you are looking and watching the right program tonight. As was said earlier, this program is designed to help you discover your dreams as well as empower your dreams and also help you discover your spiritual and financial destiny. I believe it's time for you to dream again. So listen, we're going to welcome you in as you come in. Just come on in. And as you come in, please make sure you tell us what state you're coming in from or what country you're going to be watching from tonight. It's going to be exciting tonight. We have one of the most powerful voices in our generation that's with us tonight. And that's in the person of Dr. Cindy Trimm. And she's going to be coming in just a few minutes. But listen, come on in. Make sure you like and share your page. Make sure you let everyone know where you're coming from. And here's, I'm going to challenge you to do something awesome tonight. I want you to tell everyone in the world, I am a dreamer. That's right. This is your season. This is your time to release your dream and to manifest what's beating you all the time. This is the hour. This is the time. Come on in. We got Keisha. Keisha, welcome in. Mrs. Key, welcome. God bless you, Tamil Curtis, who made all of this possible. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. We want to welcome you in tonight. Tonight is going to be a powerful night where we're going to be empowering you to dream. And I'm telling you, tonight you're going to be blessed. You're going to hear some information that's going to change your life forever. All right, Pearlie, all the way from Baltimore, come on in and make sure you say, I am a dreamer. Make that announcement. Make that declaration. Take ownership of your dream. Come on in. Come on in. For those of you that are watching throughout the nation as well as internationally, we greet you to Dream Again. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Robinson, just awaiting with my special guest tonight, Dr. Cindy Trimm. It's going to be a night of empowerment, a night of inspiration, and a night where I believe your life is going to change forever. It's time to dream again. I don't know what they're saying on CNN and MSNBC and all the other stations, but on this station tonight, we're telling you to dream again. Come on in, Keisha. Come on, as you come in, identify where you're coming in from. That's it. Let us know where you're coming in from. Tanya, come on in. Good to have you tonight. Tell us what city you're coming in from as well as what country. And also make sure you make that declaration with us tonight. I am a dreamer. Good to have you tonight, Terrell, all the way from Pittsburgh. Good to have you tonight. Good to have you, Miss Dorsey, all the way from Arkansas. Thank you for joining us. EJ Harris from Greenville, Texas. Good to have you tonight. Good to have you tonight. It's going to be powerful. Listen, I want you to do something for me. Will you take a moment to share and like your page? Take a moment to share your page with your friends. You never know who may be listening tonight, who may be watching tonight. I believe there's going to be just one nugget, one word that they're going to receive tonight that's going to inspire them to become a dreamer. Good to have you. Oh, my Archbishop is on tonight. Ralph Dennis, good to have you. Crystal from Owens Mills, Maryland. Nicole, that's it, from Columbia, Maryland. Okay, great. Come on in. We have a few minutes and we're going to get started. Just a couple of more minutes and we're going to bring on the powerhouse tonight, Dr. Cindy Trimm. Now, I need you to make that declaration tonight. I am a dreamer. Listen, that's the first chapter in my book. I talk about the announcement. You got to announce it to the universe. I am a dreamer. Thank you for joining us. God bless you. Well, listen, I want to, first of all, before I go into our program tonight, I want to thank Khalif Towles and the U Gospel staff for opening up this door and giving me this opportunity to come to you We're going to be coming to you every single Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be power filled, spirit filled, many guests throughout the country. And I'm telling you, your life is going to be completely changed. And where did this whole dream again concept come about? Well, about 10 years ago, my life hit rock bottom, and I thought it was over for me. I didn't think I would be able to continue the ministry. I lost some of the most precious things in my life. It was the darkest period of my life. And in that period, in that dark season, I heard these words, dream again. And that's what I did. I began to dream again, began to restructure my life, begin to reorganize, and begin to trust God. And after I began to do that, God restored everything back into my life. And I'm telling you, 100-fold. And then he said, go and tell my people to dream again. Tell them I have the power to restore them to their assignments, their original assignments and purpose in life. And so that's what we're doing tonight. And so we're excited about our guest. Our guest tonight is none other than Dr. Cindy Trimm, founder and CEO of Cindy Trimm Ministries International. She is a sought after empowerment specialist, revolutionary thinker, transformational leader. She has really distinguished herself as a catalyst of change and a voice of hope to many, many nations. Listen, you read her books. That's right. 40 Days Soul Fast, Command Your Morning, Rules of Engagement. The list goes on and on. She is with us tonight, and we're so excited. Well, let's welcome Dr. Cindy Trimm to, to us, our stage tonight. God bless you.
Hey there, it's a pleasure to be on with you, especially talking about this subject of dreaming. And boy, do we need dreamers in this dispensation and time.
That is so true. And you and I have been having this conversation for the last decade.
Yep, for a very, very long time.
A long time.
You're a dreamer and I'm a dreamer.
Yes, yes. You said something very powerful in your end of year conference. You said dreamers are those who can see themselves doing better and just wanting better. And and so we've been talking about the power of dream, and I read today a little bit of your foreword in my book, Here Comes the Dreamer. And I would tell people to buy the book just for Dr. Trimm's foreword. It was just that good. But you said something here. I want to read it. You said, we live in a world built on dreams. The cars that we drive, the houses in which we live, the clothes we wear, they are all testimonies of the prosperity or prospering, the power of the dream. You said that is the power of the dream. Talk about that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, a lot of times we don't realize how powerful the human mind is. And every single day, each one of us live with this dream machine. And it's a money-making machine. It's a destiny-creating machine. Your brain has the power and your mind has the power to create and monopolies, to create economies. It has the power to build. It has the power to tear down. Whatever you put your mind to, your mind has the ability to create it for you and to destroy it for you. And we live in our present with two powerful forces. The force of memory and the force of what I call visions and dreams. These are the two forces. Yes. And your memory actually keeps you connected to your past, while your vision and dreams connect you to your future. And
wow.
You have to have something that is greater than your brain in order to live in this world, because this brain keeps you connected to this world as it is, the brain, because it's, helps you with making sense of the world. And a lot of what your brain does, believe it or not, it eliminates things. It eliminates sounds, it eliminates things that you're seeing so that you could focus on only those things it believes that it needs to thrive and succeed. And we have to really get that. So the bulk of what your brain is doing is throwing things away and kicking things out. Now, if you look at the fact that visions and dreams is not about the brain, it's about the mind. It's the capacity of the mind. And the greatest faculty of the mind is the faculty of imagination. And so if you go through school, then your teachers convince you that the best part of living and succeeding is your ability to memorize. So we go through these memorization. You remember, 1 and 1 is 2.
Repetition.
Remember, yeah. But one of the things that Albert Einstein said, that imagination is more powerful than memorization.
Yes.
And there's a world of unlimited potentiality that exists, and we call that imagination. And the scripture says, there's nothing that's going to be prohibited a man that uses his imagination.
Wow.
So dreaming is the use of imagination. And if you can dream it, if you can imagine it, if you can harness the faculty of your mind, and if you can connect it to some future aspiration, then it's just a matter of time before you're living the life of your dream. And I'll give you an example. Jeremiah 29 talks about the children of Israel going into 70. And so the prophet is raised up by God to give them the ability to imagine a life beyond captivity. And they will be in captivity for 70 years. Now, we've been in captivity for 7 months. And in those 7 months, we have to ask ourselves this question during this lockdown: what have we been doing with our minds? Are we harnessing the faculty of imagination, or are we allowing our brain to cause us to suffer from possibility blindness? And
you're making a powerful point here. This is just I wanted to interject, because there's a lot of people that don't realize that there's a difference between the brain and the mind.
Yeah. So this is spiritual. And so, when you connect the beginning, the Bible says to everything, there is a time to be born and a time to die. So he said, everything in your life is not going to be wasted, because there's a purpose for everything. So the good, the bad, the ugly, there's a purpose for everything. So when you look at Joseph's brothers lived in their present, regretting their past. That's memory.
Yes.
But Joseph was able to assail when all the odds were stacked up against him: human trafficking, prison, and he comes out as an ex-convict to become a prime minister.
Woo, come on.
Because of a dream. So you're either going to live your life from the dimension of memory or from dreams.
Wow.
And so Psalm 126, Jeremiah 29 is the beginning of captivity. You're going to be in captivity for 70 years. Psalm 126 is the end. And this is what they said: when the Lord turned our captivity to Zion, we were like them that dream.
Yes.
Our mouths were filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. In other words, they were able to live the life of their dreams. I know the thoughts I think towards you. So a dream is God taking his thoughts concerning coming attractions that are inevitable if you just pay attention. So the brain does not pay attention to a whole lot of stuff. So when you're sleeping, this is how God grabs our attention. And the scripture says that he gives us dreams. In a dream, a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon man. I think it's Job 33, 50 to 26. It says, when deep sleep falleth upon man. So we know that sleep is another level of consciousness. So you've got awake, which is a consciousness where you're aware and you use 5 physical senses. But then the spirit also has physical senses. And when you sleep, those spiritual senses, the spirit also has spiritual senses. So while you're sleeping, your spirit's senses are awakened. You hear, you see, you feel, you touch. I'm sure people have been have dreamed and thought they were in a swimming pool, and it's
and it feels like you're right there too.
and it feels. People have sworn that someone was chasing them, and they wake up and they're sweating because your senses are brought to life. So a dream is just as real as your wake state, but it's experienced by the spirit. So the spirit realm is the causal realm, and it's more powerful than your wake state. That's important.
Wow, that's so powerful. Oh my God, my God. So so it sounds like to me that being intentional and intentionality is really critical here. Sometimes, especially us in the church world, we're so busy saying we're waiting on God to do it. And unfortunately, even in this pandemic crisis or this crisis that our country has been in, people are still waiting for God to do it. But he's saying, no, you do it. You dream.
There's two types of people in this world.
Yes.
Those that wait for things to happen and those that make it happen.
Yes. Now,
those
the third person Vince Lombardi said is those that wonder what happened.
Yes.
Listen, I am convinced that now is the greatest time to dream. Statistics show that more millionaires were made during the Depression, time than any other time. Speak to that. I mean, why would this be a great time to dream?
Because it's a time when a season has come to an end, a cycle has come to an end, something has come to an end, and the pain points is that all of us experience really is heaven wheeling the into heaven's maternity ward. And see, the church should have been wheeled in a lot earlier than the world. And so the Bible talks about due season. So the church is not just in due season. We are overdue. So heaven is inducing labor. That's what's happening.
Wow. Wow. That is so awesome.
Yeah. So, we talk about dreams. So I want to remove the spooky spiritual.
Yeah.
And park that to a side.
Yes.
Listen to what Paul said. This is 3 John 2. Brethren, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So what does that mean? He's literally saying, this is what my dream is for you. He's saying, I have a dream. To wish is the highest form of aspiration.
Yes.
I want to connect that to a modern day occurrence. Martin Luther King, when he said, I have a dream.
Yes.
This is my highest aspiration. My highest aspiration is for my children to live in a world where they're not judged by the color of their skin.
Yes.
And so we have to see aspirations that are God-given as a part of dreaming.
Yes.
And that takes me to my next. Yes. Aspiration leads into daydreaming, where people sit down and they use their imagination, they harness their imagination. And they say, I wonder what it would be like to. I wonder what it would be like to have $1 million. What would I do? How would I feel? What would I do with it? I wonder what it would be like to graduate from Harvard University. I wonder, this is all a part of dreaming.
Yes.
And we do it and we don't even know that we're doing it. Imagine if we take that faculty of imagination, something that God gave us, and harnessed it.
Yes.
And this is what God said. I'm going to give you a dream, he said, so that I can open your ear and seal instructions.
Ooh, wow.
So God opens your ear. Why the ear? The ear is the reproductive organ of the spirit and the mind. It's a womb. So dreams use the natural faculty of the mind's ability to imagine.
Yes.
And because the spirit realm is more powerful than the natural, a body at rest stays at rest until a greater force moves it.
Yes.
So the body that is at rest is the brain, and the greater force is the mind. So when you wake up, those dreams actually help you in your decision making so that you do not make a mess of your life.
Wow.
That's what it says.
Boy, you talking about
You know, he seals the instruction. Joseph, for instance, the parents of Joseph, one of the parents, the adoptive parent of Jesus, he was given a dream and God instructed him, marry Mary. Then he was given another dream and told him, hide Jesus in Africa. So he was able to wake up and he was able to make the proper decisions that affected his destiny and saved his son's life.
Wow. My God, my God. You talk about that in your forward, how dreams affect your decisions. It sounds like what they do is they they develop a framework around your life. And they become a filter too, right? I mean,
yeah. Because, you know, there's something that Job said in the same text. He said, if there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one among 1,000 to show unto a man his uprightness, then he is gracious unto him and said, delivered him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. And that means that interpretation determines manifestation. So you look at Joseph's dreams, and in his dreams, he saw him prospering, but he saw all of his brothers in industry leadership positions. And his brother said, you're crazy. So what happens is his dream followed his interpretation, but his brother's life followed that interpretation. So
Dr. Trimm
followed the interpretation of the dream, and his brother's life followed the interpretation of the dream.
Good God Almighty. You know, in essence, really, and I say this all the time when we refer to that story, that the dream was supposed to bless all the brothers. He never told them they weren't included. He said all of us are going to be on top.
He said he saw wheat that was bombed, and they were all standing up. And then he saw stars that were elevated in the sky. So they were all elevated. They were all economically successful. They were all industry leaders. But they got jealous of how his brother interpreted the dream. So, you know, the thing about this is your life is going to follow the interpretation of the dreams that you have for your life. So you best to get dreaming. I don't care if it's a daydream, a lucid dream. I don't care if it's like a wish or a great aspiration, because how you interpret your dream gives you articulation for how you form your prayers. And there's something about prayers. No city, no country, no government, no circumstances is off limits to it.
Yes. This is just so powerful. You know, every time I get together with you, you start talking about, you just take things in a whole different angle or spin. But I really want to talk about that Joseph experience a little further, because I look at your life and my life and a lot of our lives who are dreamers are very parallel to Joseph, in that we dreamed to bless our family. Our family are beneficiaries of us being a dreamer. And I want to say that to those of you that are watching tonight, you don't just dream for yourself. It begins with you. You have to believe in your dream, but understand that your family is tied to your dream. Is that right, Dr. Trimm?
That is so right. I'm thinking about Joseph. I'm also thinking about Abraham. God visited him in a dream and showed him, hey, look, he said, oh, I'm giving up on this dream of having a son. He said, why don't we just raise Eliezer? And he could be, you know, the one that my legacy, basically. And God gave him a dream. And then he woke up and he took him outside. And he said, look, you're going to live the life of your dream. Can you count the number of sand? No. Then you're not going to be able to count the number of progenitors, the ones that are going to come out of your womb. And then he gave him the ability to think beyond the constraints of his limitations. They were, you know, and he said, look at the stars, elevate your mind. And a lot of us suffer from possibility blindness
Yes.
because we're like John chapter 5, the man that was sitting on the porch, the 5 porches,
Yes.
with people that were blind, halted, lame, withered, and waiting.
Yeah.
And so birds of a feather flock together. And for 38 years, he slept on this bed. And I want to make sure that we walk away with this one point that I'm about to make.
Yeah. Yes.
So this is what Jesus said: "Wilt thou be made whole, not healed?"
That's right. That's right.
So he wasn't lame, he was lazy. And what Jesus gave.
What did you just say? You said he wasn't lame, he was lazy.
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
Because he let extenuating circumstances dictate. He saw everybody else did it. His porch represented his whole world. And everyone else was satisfied watching everyone else progress.
Wow.
And so it's groupthink, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what.
If you follow the crowd, you'll only go as far as the crowd.
That's right.
And so here's the thing: his miracle was not in Bethesda. His miracle was leaving Bethesda. And so Jesus gave him the ability to think, and he said, "Wilt thou be made whole?" Yeah. Not healed, but whole.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Could it be his limited thinking limited his progress?
Yes.
And Jesus said, "I want you to take up your bed and walk." God will never ask you to do something that you don't have the potential to do.
Yes.
So a lot of us are working from out of a resume rather than a vision and a dream. And so he said, "Take up your bed and walk." Why the bed? Because the bed represented the 38 years that he dreamed about walking, but never put actions to living the life of his dream. And so what Jesus did was heal him of possibility blindness. And he was able to live the life of his dream. He was able to put feet to his dream. And a lot of us, we have these amazing dreams, but we are not putting feet to our dreams.
Wow.
That's Joseph. Joseph put feet to his dreams.
I want to hold it there because we're going to come back to talk about that right there, putting feet to the dreams in our next segment. I want to take a moment to share with our audience. I know you're tremendously blessed. Why don't you take a moment? We have listened another 20 minutes or so. Take a moment to share this on your page. This is just life-changing. Dr. Trimm never ceases to exceed my expectations, and I know you're being blessed tonight. I want to take a few moments to share our Dream Again free webinar that we're going to be doing. I'm hosting that in another few weeks. I want all of you to be a part of this. I believe it's the season of dreams, and in this webinar, it's absolutely free. We're going to be training you how to, first of all, reframe your disappointments. Because every dreamer has what I call contradiction, and how you handle your disappointments will determine your destiny. We're going to talk about learning the essential steps in birthing your dreams. I'm going to teach you how to properly set dream goals. Even right now, while you are watching me, you are literally watching something that this just didn't happen. But we had to plan it, set goals for it. Then also I'm going to teach you how to choose the right team for your dream. This is absolutely free, but there are a limited number of people that will be able to be a part of this seminar because it is absolutely, again, free. Monday, September the 28th, you can register right now. Don't wait. Register now. Be the first 100 to be a part of this dynamic webinar that's going to change your life. I believe many of you are dreamers. That's why you were drawn to us even tonight. But you need a coach. You need a coach. What does every champion have in common? They have a coach. I want to coach you. I want you to be a part of that. Make sure you be a part of that. Well, let's get back to Dr. Trimm. I know you're being tremendously blessed by this. I want to talk, just continue to move from where we parked, and that is putting legs to the dream. I believe there are essential qualities. There are steps in manifesting the dream. It's almost like the birthing process. I talk about it in my book. Can you talk about it, your journey, and some of the steps you had to take? Because a lot of people don't know your story. Your story is just phenomenal. You know, from where you came into where you are now. It's just, so I want you to share a little bit of that. I want people to hear that, the steps, because some of them are like that man that were at the pool and they just been waiting on the Lord. and and we are kicking every sacred cow off out tonight. We are completely destroying those mythologies. But I want you to give just some steps, share with them some of the practical things that you feel that are necessary to arise and dream again.
Just being able to understand, Dr. Ken, what a dream is, what it feels like, because a lot of times people think that you're just talking about sleeping and having a vivid dream that you remember, even though where I am today started off as a series of dreams, and they were reoccurring dreams. And then I'm living, the life of that particular dream. But beyond that, I think I started dreaming out of necessity because I was born in abject poverty.
Wow.
We ran out of everything, including water and food and clothes, and we lived in a house that leaked. I mean, when it rained outside, it rained inside. And I was thinking about a story that I heard, and I want to just give it in a soundbite.
Yes.
About two women, and they were interviewing them. One was 89, one was 90, and they wanted to find out about their memory. And one of them said, "Oh, I had a fantastic life, It was during the Depression, and my father used to wake us children up early in the morning and take us off to school, and then he would go to work and come back home, and we had to walk to school, and it was the most amazing time of my life. It was beautiful." And they interviewed the 90-year-old one, and they were born in the same zip code. And she said it was horrible. I hated it. I hated every part of it. I had to walk to school. My father had to go to work. It was just horrible. I'd never like to relive it. So at dinner time, they sat down and they said, well, maybe we should introduce these two women. So when they got into the dining room, the two women were sitting together, but they went ahead and to introduce the two women. And they said, oh, no need to. That's my sister. And they had the same experience.
Oh my God. Wow.
Because they came from the same family. And a lot of times we have to change the narrative.
I get it.
Of our lives. It's the stories we tell. I had a fantastic life because I dreamt and I lived in this world. No money, no this, no that. The poorest of the poor. We had to rely on Salvation Army for food and clothing and things like that. Mm. But it gave rise to me owning my first business at 8 years old out of necessity.
Wow.
It pointed toward potential. And where I worked so hard, the other kids were playing. All of the kids that are around me, I think I'm the only business owner and a multi-million-dollar business owner today. And I can point it back to the days when I sat and I used the power of my imagination and I would daydream. I would think about what it was going to be like to live in a mansion, what it was going to be like to travel the world. I would read books, and books are important. And I would read books about the night runners of Bengal and India, and I would feel it. I would feel the rain and imagine what it was like and say in my mind, one day I'm going to go to India. And I went to India. I've traveled 70 countries and all 7 continents. And I own 5 businesses. And I hire people from around the world.
Yes, you do.
Started out in abject poverty when I utilized 2 of the wealthiest dimensions that a man can live in. Number 1, the dimension of time. Time is your currency, and how you spend it is important.
Wow.
You can regret everything around you, or you can use your time to write out your vision. You can use your time to channel your energies. And I think of, I was studying the life of Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. And they talked about how he had this rabid passion. And he was the shortest, one of the shortest, and he wasn't one of the best players because they cut him from out of playing when he was in high school. Mm-hmm. But when he went to college, He had so much passion that
Yes.
he did more than was required. It was his ethics. And he set these goals about shooting hoops, and he set goals. And I thought, how can I explain the importance of goal setting? And goal setting is a promise that you make to yourself. And it's a test of your personal integrity.
Yes. Yes.
Because if you would not keep your promise, your word to yourself, you will not keep it.
Woo! Wow! Come on! Wow! That's awesome.
So I tell people, look, have your dream, have your vision, and then establish clear goals. Goals is about time management. It's about utilizing the currency that we call time. And the second dimension is the dimension of your mind. And that's where imagination comes in. So if you don't have vivid dreams, you can have daydreams.
Yeah.
And you can just imagine. I just imagine myself 5 years from now with another $3 million in the bank, $5 million,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and I'm helping
Yes.
my family and I'm giving back. I imagine myself now.
Come on, Dr.
And and
Yes. Yes.
I have a bucket list.
Yes. I do too.
And in my bucket list, I'm gonna learn Spanish. So 4 weeks ago, I started my Spanish. So I hired a professor in Spanish, and because it's my goal, I will never ever not learn how to speak Spanish fluently, because that is a goal, aka a promise I made to myself. And when you set goals and you don't fulfill goals, it's a sign that you need to work on your character.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Dr. Trimm.
So setting goals is character building as well. If you want to know where the areas of your weakness, then your soul knows the terrain of your destiny, and it will bring to you the experiences that you need for character building and capacity building for future success and prosperity. So this is what Joseph said. I have a dream.
Yeah.
But then the brothers sold him. He was a victim of human trafficking. I can keep going on and on.
Yes.
But everything that was happening to him was a test of his character, but it was also capacity building. So that when he looks back now, these are the lessons I need
Come
so
on.
that I can live the life of my dream. That means that you don't have to resent anybody. You don't have to be angry with anybody, because you can truly say all things work together for good. So while his brothers lived a life of fear, intimidation, regret, he was able to stand up and say, hey, brothers, only good would come out of it. In conclusion, growing up, I could look back and I could talk about being abandoned by my father, levels of rejection. I could talk about growing up with nothing. I could talk about all of that. But only good came out of it. Why?
Yes.
Because I said only good can come out of this.
Ah.
And thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established. So in this pandemic, I have a dream. And no matter what I'm going through, only good can come out of this.
Whew. That's the mindset. That's the mindset. I think that's what we call the psychology of a dreamer. A psychology of a dreamer is motivated by its inside. I was reading this today, and it talks about the personality of a dreamer and how they direct a lot of their energy inward. I think the personality is the INFP personality. They direct a lot of their energy inward. They are energized by spending time alone. They are private and internally aware. INFP's dreamers are independent and keep to themselves most of the time. Now, I believe the reason for that is just what you're saying. You cannot be dictated by the external forces that you experience. And I think, and that's one of the reasons why I really feel that this was the perfect time for me to launch this program, because it appears that it may be the worst time to dream, but the best time to dream is at night.
That's, I mean, look at Adam. He
Right.
went, he went to sleep one night and woke up with the woman of his dream the next morning.
The
Stop.
woman of his dreams.
Oh, yes.
I
Oh,
love
yes.
it. I love it. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing now, Dr. Trimm. I don't know if the people are familiar with Kingdom University, but Kingdom University, the people that come out of Kingdom University, it's amazing what they're doing now. I look at them on Instagram, and they're just doing extraordinary things. Take a moment really to talk about that for our audience, because I think there are many people that need to be exposed to Kingdom University.
I think, when I was studying, I've been studying the book of Joshua for the year. And I'm almost finished. So I took the entire year, this entire year, because it has a lot to do with End Your Year Strong 2020. So every year we host End Your Year Strong in December, and we point people forward. And this year we talked about, last year, 2019, about innovation and what 2020 is going to be like, and how things are unfolding, and how things would unfold in the fourth industrial revolution, and the shifts that will happen. And that's exactly what's happening. But this year, we're going to be talking about how important it is for us to have mentors and coaches. And this is why your program is going to be important, Dr. Can, because I looked at Joshua's life, and he was the first PM, first prime minister of a new nation, the first PM. But he spent the vast majority of his life, the first part of his life, as a slave. So from a slave to a spy to a soldier to a servant leader. And then he became the first sovereign. And I thought, how did he do all of that? And that was because he had Moses. So I'm talking about the mentor Moses.
I love it.
And how long did Moses mentor him? Mentored him for 40 years.
40 years.
And I thought, I'm telling you, we can quantum leap our success based on the length of a relationship that we have with a mentor. And a lot of us jump out of mentorship relationships too soon. And you have Joshua, out of 2 million people, he's the one that becomes the sovereign. And that is because of his mentorship relationship that he had with Moses. And so we have to find our Moses. Mordecai was the mentor of Esther. And Esther's claim to fame was a beauty contest, but she had the potential hidden on the inside of her to become a deliverer, an emancipator of a nation, deliver an entire nation. She didn't know. But why would God choose go, instead of going to the priest and say to the priest, give this word to Esther? Why did God have to leave the temple and go to industry to find someone to become a prophetic midwife or a mentor? I call your mentor your prophetic midwives, different from a coach, but a mentor. Why? It is because he had capacity that the Levites didn't have. Wow. He had a global. So you want to find someone that is balanced, that has a global experience to mentor you. And that's why your program becomes important, because you're not just talking about you being a priest or a Levite. You're actually in the marketplace. You have gone ahead of them. And so what you put in their lives is a mechanism that we call accountability. So what happens to a person when you remove the accountability and discipline from the equation of their life? They cease to maximize their potential.
Mm.
And they cease to have the level of success that they should. So both you and I, give people an opportunity to be mentored. And this is what you're talking about. This is why we're here.
Yeah.
And, I mentor a number of people, from billionaires to industry leaders from around the world. And that's what you do. You mentor the best and the brightest. So those of you that are listening and you have something in your belly, like a Michael Jordan, even though people might have rejected you initially, they're going to come back and they're going to need you. Rejection is redirection.
Yeah, come on.
If you've experienced a lot of rejection from people, maybe God is redirecting you to Dr. Can. And he has a program. And if I were you, I would show up free. Nobody gives free anything today. So information is costly. My mentor, I hired my first mentor. I hired him for 2 days, and it was $30,000 for 2 days. I paid $30,000 for 2 days. I paid $99,000 for another mentor, and I could keep going on and on. And so people that's with me, they save money. Why? Because I've already paid it out.
Yeah.
I've already paid out the money. I've already run a country. So people say, okay, what qualifies you? I ran a country.
Come on.
I'm not just talking about running companies. I ran a country. I was government. I wasn't playing politics. I was government. I was responsible for. And also, when you look at the collective experience, for instance, you have me on your program. So what you're doing is you're giving the people that are going to be mentored by you an opportunity to tap into your network. I mean, if people understand the power of a network and they give you an opportunity, to get me, Dr. Can, is $9,000 an hour. It's $9,000 an hour. And you, through one relationship, said to everybody, hey, I'm giving you an opportunity to tap into my network. And under normal circumstances, to sit with her is $9,000 an hour. And you're putting in their pocket $9,000 just with you and I sitting here talking.
That's the truth.
It gets real simple.
That's the truth.
I tell people, I may not be the best speller, but I can count. I can count.
Back to
so with this, you get collective. And I wanted to encourage each one of you right now. Don't wait until this finish. Go on and sign up. It's free. Sign up for this event. And Dr. Can is going to put the information back on the screen. And what I want you to do, with modern technology, you could still listen to us and you could still hyperlink the information that Dr. Can is about to give you. And if I were you, I would do it now. Dr. Can, would you give them the opportunity one more time to get the information?
Yes, please. If you will, Deborah, if you will, go ahead and just kind of put that. Here it is. See, I got it here actually. Yes, we're going to be hosting this seminar on Monday, September the 28th. As Dr. Trimm said, it's an opportunity for me to personally coach many of you all. We're offering it for free, but like she said, nothing is free. What I have received, I've paid thousands of dollars for, but I'm going to pour it into you. I believe in your dreams. You're going to learn how to reframe your disappointments. I'm going to teach you how to deal with bitterness. That's dream poison number one is bitterness. Dr. Trimm talked a little bit about that. I'm going to teach you about how to learn the essential steps to birth your dreams. I'm going to teach you how to properly set dream goals. We talked about that tonight. And I'm also going to help you choose the right people around you. Show me your friends, I'll predict your future. Show me your company, I'll predict your course. All of that's going to be absolutely free, but I do have a limited amount of space, and you got to move quickly. You have to move quickly if you're going to be a part of this. And I hope you've been tremendously blessed tonight. I have. I do also want to give you an opportunity to plant seed tonight. This is a step of faith for me. I am funding it myself, but I believe you can partner with me as we continue to bring great gifts on like Dr. Cindy Trimm. Dr. Cindy Trimm is a jewel. I feel so highly favored to just know her. She's been a friend now for almost 15 years, 15 years. And she's one of the reasons why I want her to be the first one on this program is because when I hit rock bottom 10 years ago, you know, they say when you hit your lowest points, you find who your true friends are. She was there every step of the way, nursing me, coaching me, encouraging me, telling me you can dream again. And certainly God has done just that because of her connection. I want you to sow into this program tonight. There are many of you that have dreams and aspirations. You are trusting God. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's something about sowing where you want to go. Dr. Trimm is one of my mentors, and not a single month goes by that she does not get a deposit from my ministry or from me. Why? Because I believe in her and she pours into me. And so I understand that you sow where you want to go. I want you to sow. Many of you are watching this program. I started this in January, just obeying God on a very small network, my own Facebook page. But God said, go ahead and do it now. Here it is 9 months later, 9 months later. Now this is a national, international platform. That's what I want to pour into you. I want you to plan into this tonight. Dr. Trent, it's such an honor to have you. I hope my audience is hearing me. They have an opportunity now to sow into this work.
Yeah, I think, you know, when we talk about dreams, all of us have to sow. A lot of people think that when you give a seed, it's actually leaving your life, but it's actually exiting your present and going into your future. And when you get there, it's going to be a harvest. And learning about, I call it the technology of giving. And learning about that technology, I worked, you know, getting six figures, and it never broke the spirit of poverty. But what broke the spirit of poverty was not a job, was not a salary. It was my revelation of a seed. And when I got the revelation of the seed, I never wait for people to ask to give. I give based on promptings and based on that.
Yes, yes,
And I
yes.
tell you, September is the month that you should give $1,000 seed. That's the month. And September the 1st, I was sharing with my husband, September the 1st last year, I gave $1,000 seed. September the 1st this year, I gave $1,000 seed, and I know what happens in the $1,000 seed. And so, learning about the kingdom technology of giving, it's so very powerful. But it's one thing to get a revelation, and it's yet another thing for it to be a rhema word for you. So when it's a rhema word for you, nobody else has to agree on it. So I don't care what they preach about tithe. I don't care what they say about giving and $1,000 seed and first fruit. I know it's a rhema word
Yes,
for me.
yes.
I do it every day. And I want the same thing for you, Pastor Dr. Ken and myself. We want the same thing for you. So we can preach the truth, but we can't apply it for you. I can preach it, but I have to apply it for myself. You have to hear it and apply it for yourself. But someone has to give you an opportunity. And a lot of times, I think, Dr. Can, we become weary in well doing. So, you know, if you do it and you continue to give people opportunities, sometimes you say, okay, I'm asking too much. But I've discovered the moment I fail to give someone an opportunity to activate the seed, I'm guilty of shutting the spigot of blessings.
My God. Wow.
So
Wow.
I want to open up the spigot and give you an opportunity to receive what we're saying as a rhema word for yourself and for you to activate the seed. Don't be weary in well doing. Every opportunity that God gives you. And for some of you, $1,000 seed may be like out of your discretionary budget, but I love the widow's mite. I love the story of the widow's mite.
Yes,
I love that story.
yes,
So
yes.
give at the level of your revelation. If it's $75, give at that level. If it's $100, give at that level. Those of you that are like me, we're at the level of multiple $1,000 seed. Give at that level. You are not giving to a person. You're giving into the realm that person.
Yes. Wow.
And likewise, can I give them one more
Yes,
understanding?
please.
A lot
Yes, yes.
of times we feel better if we give to people that are begging, like our Uncle Papa and people who are lazy. and who, you know, mismanage their money. But when you give to people that are not legitimately widows and orphans, they're not legitimately. These are people that mismanage their money. They may be lazy, but it's not legitimate. You are actually giving into that realm. That means you can only prosper from that realm.
Wow.
So a lot of times the seed that God has for us to reserve for moments like this, when the moments come, we have already mismanaged it.
Mm.
And we mismanage it by giving it to people
Wow.
who are beggars. They're beggars.
Yeah.
These are people that if you don't give them, they'll find someone else, because this is what they do for a living. They beg. So be careful. During this season, let me give you one caution. Caution. During this season, be careful who you're giving to. Check out the realm that that person is living in and ask yourself this question. If I give, I prosper from that realm, and that's where I'm going to get my harvest from.
Glory to God.
And if it's a realm of poverty, then you're only going to reap from that realm. But if you're giving to a realm where the people are prosperous, you remember the pursuit of happiness? He gave his last, he needed his last, but he gave it to someone that didn't need it.
Wow.
And today, Mr. Farmer is prospering from that same realm, the same realm he gave into.
Well, God.
I'm hoping this will help those of you that have become discouraged, those of you that have become suspicious, or even resentful because you haven't seen your harvest from the past. I want you to trust God again and take him at his word. Whatever you withhold, you are impoverished by it. But whatever you give, you're prospered by it.
Glory to God. Well, I trust you're going to release that dream seed tonight. Listen, Dr. Trimm, thank you so much. We have about 2 minutes left, but you have been amazing tonight. Thank you, my friend. Love you much. And all of you that are watching tonight, I want to thank a few people. My assistant, Deborah Chapman, who's just a blessing in my life. My graphic designer, Emmanuel Brown. T-Mill Curtis, one of my PR specialists who made all this possible. And of course, you, the dreamer. I want you to join us next week. Next week, our guest is Ben Tankard, Stellar Award winner, Grammy Award winner. He also can tell you about the dream, and you certainly want to tune in with us next week on Dream Again with Dr. Ken. Well, again, Dr. Trimm, thank you so much for this evening, and all of you. And this is Dr. Ken saying to you, don't forget to dream again. It's your time to dream again. God bless you.